Benny.
Truly. A few days ago, I was watching you and how you were slamming Aisha and you together with my girlfriend Abnamwe. I mean, yeah. So yeah, I've been.
How did I become your girlfriend? Because
Me. She's part of my girlfriend's list.
Really? I thought you were more into the back one, not the front side.
Master so. Your comment on the law, the Film Act that required media houses to obtain licensing agreements. You mentioned that the NPP failed to enact it, and so we are suffering, or hence the problem with media houses showing other movies freely without any punitive measures. Can you confirm you said that?
Yes, I did, boss. I did.
But why didn't it happen in the tenure of the NPP? Well, you mentioned that in the former JMJ, former JM. I don't want to say former JM. I do say JMJ. Forgive me. Yeah. You mentioned that.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, the line went off, but it's back.
Is it back? Okay, thank you. You mentioned that in the former JM administration, they pursued, or there was some pursuant of the for the law to be passed, but in the MPP, nothing happened. Why did it happen so? Could it be that the pursuit was stopped, or was anyone discouraged? What happened?
Well, there are two laws that we are talking about now. One is an act already, and the other one is a bill not passed yet. Now, the act is the Act 935, which is the Development and Classification of Film Act 2016. But the other one, which has not been passed yet, is the Broadcasting Bill. And the last revision was done, I think, in 2014, where it was supposed to have been passed. But this same Broadcasting Bill, Andy, during President Kufuor's time on, I don't know who are behind. I don't know who are behind dragging it from being passed. Mostly, it will get close to Parliament. Sometimes even it has been to Parliament on the consideration, and then somehow somebody takes it out. I don't know. There's some sort of cartel behind trying to make sure this broadcasting bill never gets to be passed.
But what could be, if it wouldn't be passed, what would be their benefit? What would make someone or a cartel stop the broadcasting law passed? That's question one. Question two will be, if passed, what will be the benefits or advantages? So let's start with the first one. Yes.
Yes. What will make anybody decide not to see the passage of the broadcasting bill could be that when we pass that bill, it's going to sort of direct contenting to a large extent on our airways, radio and TV. It's also going to make sure that certain things that are done and the way we do things on the airwaves would be changed. I would just plead that somebody gets to read the broadcasting bill, at least the third revision, which was in 2014. You realize that it also gives room for a larger percentage of local content on radio and TV. Do you get it? So if we're going to give that large percentage to local content, it means that broadcasters or broadcasting companies will have to invest more into local content than the cheap ones they are getting from outside and from Telegram and YouTube and pirated online sites. Do you get it? So I'm tempted to believe that this is the reason why some of them are struggling or fighting to make sure that we don't actually get to pass the bill. But that notwithstanding, even though they are doing that, there's another act that has been passed that can still or equally help to solve the problem, which is the Film Act, Act 936. I hope you understand.
Right.
So even though they've been fighting the passage of this broadcasting bill, we make sure we pass through another channel to pass the Film Act. to also help to control the same content in issue. But unfortunately, the Film Act cannot help in the audio side or maybe music side, but it can work, and it's supposed to work perfectly for the audiovisual side. For example, the Film Act says that any audiovisual content that will be aired on any exhibition platform. Now, exhibition platform means that wherever you can watch it from.
Right.
It could be a social media platform, i.e., YouTube, Facebook, X, whatever. And also, it can also mean a cinema, and it can also mean a TV station or channel. Now, if you want to air any audiovisual content, you first need to have classified. Previously, during Nkrumah's time, it was a censorship board. Then, because of 92 Constitution, it changed because the Constitution doesn't allow censorship of any media work. It changed to classification. In fact, if you go to Nigeria, it is still a censorship, which is headed by the president, the sitting president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because they take it so serious. Now, if you take it to classification committee or board, that is where they will decide whether this thing can be aired or it cannot. That's the first part.
That's based on the year, which year group can watch.
Yeah, I'm coming to that part. That's the second part I was going to make. It also decides which group of people or age group can watch that particular content. And it also can decide when you can show that particular content. Now, the advantage with this one in helping to solve the piracy issue is that if you do not have a release license for that content that you have brought to be classified, it means automatically you can't classify it and you can't show it. And anything that has not been classified has no right being exhibited anywhere. So you see how consistent the law has been to help curtail this whole piracy thing? That is why I am so unhappy that we spent 8 years without enforcing this thing. 8 years with just fighting between heads within the NFA to make sure that this thing doesn't happen, just as the broadcasting bill has not happened. So with all these piracy issues going on, we have this law that can solve it, in fact, easily, if we had activated it, if we had had the right people in the helm of affairs to have done that. That was where Socrates was. And if you remember, or if you have chance on this, he was crying on Peace FM on Saturday that he was frustrated from working and he couldn't achieve anything with that department.
Okay, I wish I would ask him some few questions. Unfortunately, he's not here to answer. I'll try and reach out to him. However, let's look at solutions. What's the way forward?
I just gave the solution that first, let us use the National Film Authority to solve this problem. As we're doing that, let us also work with the Communication Ministry to make sure that channels that do not comply will be taken off. Because the law allows that if a channel or TV station does not comply, we can take the person to court. But before you take the person to court, you can seize the person's equipment to prevent the person from working. And this can only be done with the Communication Ministry as well. So the solution is there. We have the solution. We have drafted the solution. It's just about implementing it and getting the right people to implement it. That's all. The law is done. The LI is done. There's nothing more we are waiting for to solving this problem. So that is what I'm saying, that if this new government, this NDC, wants to solve this problem, let's use the National Film Authority, which has got the solution for now.
Have you been close to any of them?
Have I?
Have you been close to any of the NFA officials?
Oh, yeah. But Andy, I've been in and out of this NFA whole thing. Even in opposition, I had been part of the drafting of the laws and everything. Kafui was with us this Saturday. And
that's why I'm asking whether you've been close to it, because I think I saw the flyer. Unfortunately, I couldn't watch the program.
Yeah,
but what has she said yet?
Well, unfortunately for her, she has to work with the board. You see, the executive secretary actually mostly have to work under the instruction of the NFA board. So she hasn't got the board yet. That is what is making her not too strong in solving this issue. But I believe that by end of May, the board will be in place and then they can begin to work. For now, she's doing the best that she can. You realize that she released a presser for the television channels that have been flouting the laws to desist from doing that and all that. So she's doing her best, but I'm sure that if we have the board, it will make it better.
Okay, away from that, let's get a bit personal. Now, have you seen TV stations showing these movies?
Andy, last week, even before these Nigerians started, last 2 weeks before these Nigerians issues came up, on our platforms, as in film producers' platforms, there are so many producers reporting, so many of them, and they report with screenshots and short videos of the TV channels that are showing their movies that have no right to do so. So we now have gathered over 100. It's supposed to be even 120 or 121 screenshots of TV stations that are showing people's movies for free. And I'm sure maybe they don't know it's criminal, but it is criminal.
Until a law is passed, are you saying that no action can be taken? Supposing they're showing the movie you have produced, what will be your action? I'm asking this because I had been at a function where a movie Yvonne Nelson had premiered few days prior to seeing it on TV. A TV station was showing it. I took a screenshot and sent it to her, and she burst in tears. Like, really? How?
Oh, the individual producers can decide to take them on to court. You can also decide to take them to the copyright office. But I asked Frank Gabin to do that when he reported his own to me. I wanted to test something. So he took it to the copyright office in Kumasi. And the first thing they told him was that he should come and register the film with them. And I'm like, no, it's not. That is not a procedure. But they insisted that is the only way they will know it is his film. And I told him, no. The moment the thing is out there with your name and everything on it, you went through classification with your name on it, they don't even need to ask you to come and register before they will take any action. And his own has to do with somebody showing his movies on a Facebook page. The person actually took part 1 to 4, and he has shown 1 to 4.
Wow.
1 to 4 straight, with so many views. And other people are also actually cutting 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes of people's films and boosting their pages with these. These are all criminal. In the law, film is anything from 15 seconds. These are all criminal. So they try to use the copyright office. The copyright office is also handicapped financially. So the best option, I've told him, to go to court now, as we are looking at activating the NFA laws and the committees so they can now take over, while ASOC is also doing their part to see how they can also take some of these stages to court. That seems to be the only way now. Unfortunately, the last time we tried to even go on a, we used to call it task force action, where we go to places where they do the piracy and stuff and arrest them with the police. And the police also told us they didn't even know the law. They don't know there's a copyright law. They don't even know that it is wrong for anybody to copy anybody's work. So that is the challenge we are having. We probably need to put in more education and also enforce the law to arrest people to serve as scapegoat for others to stop. If not, there's no way we can solve it now until the NFA is fully activated.
Okay. Ola, thank you very much for talking to us. We'll see the way forward. However, if anything comes up, we'll knock on your door again. Thank you so much for this education and your thoughts.
I do say I did for you. Just that for full way, a long time way.
It go happen. One of these days. Why?
One of these days.
Right. Okay. Right. Listeners, that's filmmaker and media practitioner, media personnel, Ola Micheal. Why are you looking at me like that?
I don't want to.
Okay. Please speak.
You are bombing.
This is Hits.